don't have our Sergeant at Arms.
Jolly good evening, everyone, and welcome to the AWN Toastmasters meeting this evening. I will be the Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting, and the meeting has effectively been called to order. We will commence the meeting this evening, reminding ourselves of the promise we made when we became Toastmasters. I will share my screen. Please join me to recite the Toastmasters promise. Matter of fact, let's us experience something I learned in Commercial Hub Toastmasters Club. What happens there is that the Toastmasters promise is recited as a community activity. So I start by reciting the first promise, and somebody else takes the second promise, and that way we'll go around the room. Everyone tries to at least recite one promise. Right. As a member of Toastmasters International and my club, I promise to attend club meetings regularly.
To prepare all my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on Toastmasters education program.
Let's keep it rolling, please. Someone else take the third promise.
To prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments.
To prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments.
To provide fellowship with helpful, constructive evaluations.
To help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow.
To serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so.
To treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy.
To bring guests to the club meetings so they can see the benefits Toastmasters membership offers.
To adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters educational and recognition programs.
To act within Toastmasters' core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities.
Awesome. Thank you very kindly to everyone who participated in reminding ourselves of the promise we made when we became Toastmasters. Join me to welcome to the virtual lectern, the club president for AWN Toastmasters, Toastmaster Natasha Ibori. Please, as she makes her way to the virtual lectern, a few ground rules. Please ensure that your mics remain muted. If you are not speaking, this will help us reduce and eliminate distractions when a participant has control of the virtual lectern. Feel free to use the chat box to communicate. The chat box is the area where conversations flow in virtual meetings. As much as possible, leave your videos on so that we'll have that sense of community and interactions while we are in today's meeting. Thank you for being here. Madam President, you have the virtual lectern.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. It's wonderful to have you all here in this meeting. It has been a minute since I've seen a number of you, but I'm glad that we're back, but better than ever. And hopefully we will continue being consistent and delivering promising and inspiring meetings so we can all grow together. So today, I'm sure a lot of us have had a wonderful Thursday, and I'm really looking forward to hearing from each of us. It'll be great to have a session during this meeting in which we can all spend time getting to know one another a little bit better and chatting, as it's always great to be able to network a little bit during Toastmasters meetings. So today the theme of the meeting is refresh, and it is a Thursday, 5 p.m. I think this is probably one of the least refreshing times of the day, but hopefully this meeting will provide us with a little bit of lightness to get us through this evening. So I'm going to be handing over to our Toastmaster of the day. We have Toastmaster Chucks. It's going to be taking us through this evening.
Thank you very much, TM Natasha. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. And like TM Natasha already did, welcome us into today's event. It's past 5 p.m. this Thursday evening, and like you said, it's not the most refreshing time, but we hope that as we go through this meeting, you get that sense of refreshment that comes with discussing and listening to other people speak. Before we go into the crux of today's meeting, I'd just like to first of all introduce myself. She already did. Chuks Obuniba, and I will be your host for this meeting, the Toastmaster of the day. My role as the Toastmaster is to guide the meeting from start through its proceedings up till conclusion. And I'm not going to do this alone, of course. With me, I have a team of powerful individuals who will be playing different roles to ensure that this meeting goes through according to the schedule. And first off, I would like to introduce one of the role players who will be playing the role of the timer, and she's from Lentor Toastmaster Club, serves as the sergeant as armed there, and she'll be our timer in today's meeting. Our timer for today's meeting is Josephine Agolo. Josephine, please introduce the role of the timer to everyone in this meeting. Over to you, Josephine.
Thank you very kindly, the Toastmaster of the day. Yes. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. My role for today is very simple, the timer. As we all know, the Toastmasters Club is divided into 3 segments. The first segment is the table topic segment. At this point, we are meant to speak extemporaneously. That is, we don't know exactly what we're about to speak. This helps us build confidence in any way we find ourselves. We are called upon to speak. To just speak on your feet because you've gotten the foundation and the training from Toastmasters Club. Then the second segment is the prepared speech segment. At this segment, it is when you are meant to, Toastmasters have prepared their speeches as per what their pathways demands of them. Then the last part is the evaluation segment, which is when we get feedback from all that we've spoken about, because it is said feedback is the breakfast, lunch, and dinner of champions. Now, for the table topic segment, you are meant to speak at most 2 minutes, 30 seconds. At 1 minute, I'll be flashing my green card. I want to do a test run to see that everyone is seeing my screen. That's the green card. Can everyone see the screen?
I can see your screen.
Yes, we can.
Yes, thank you very kindly. At 1 minute, 30 seconds, I'll be flashing the yellow card, which is the green, which is at the yellow card, which is also the amber card. At 2 minutes, I'll be flashing the red card. At this point, you have 30 seconds to wrap up your thoughts, just so your speech will be eligible for voting. Why for the prepared speeches? Speakers are meant to speak for 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I'll be flashing the green card. At 6 minutes, I'll be flashing the yellow card. And at 7 minutes, I'll be flashing the red card. You still have up to 30 seconds to wrap up your thoughts, just so your speech will be eligible for voting. Then the evaluation segment, please, I would like our evaluators to watch the screen while I flash the card. Please, just so we keep to the time scheduled for this meeting. That is my role for today. I'll be coming back to tell us how well we have fared with time. Over to you, the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Josephine. And like she rightly said, we have to ensure that we stick to that time so that the whole meeting, or the meeting as a whole, concludes as scheduled. Next role player we'll be inviting would be someone who I've known since I joined Toastmasters, someone who was responsible for grooming me through this course, and I'll play the role of a mentor at the beginning of my career in Toastmasters, or my journey in Toastmasters. And that's no other person than Toastmaster Chidi Chukwudi Madu. Toastmaster Chidi, over to you.
Thank you most graciously, the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Chuks Okuboniwa. Good evening, everyone. This evening, I will serve as the grammarian of today's meeting, and my role as a grammarian is to be, for lack of a better word, the English police. I would listen to our use of English and give reports on good usage and bad usage of English. I would also report on quotes, phrases, and words that strike me as interesting. Additionally, I would introduce the word of the day, which I implore everyone to endeavor to incorporate into their speech this evening, today's meeting, and not just at today's meeting, but through the week. And the word for today is sensational. Can everyone say sensational?
Sensational.
Sensational. If you say it, that counts as one use of the word of the day for you this evening. What does sensational mean? It means extremely good. It's an adjective. And if we want to use it in a sentence, I could say, Toastmaster Chuks delivered a sensational introduction to today's meeting. Toastmaster Natasha's inspirational speech this evening was sensational. I expect that we would endeavor to use the word of the day as we speak. And I can assure you, if we do, our meeting this evening would not only be sensational, but enthralling and engaging. Mr. Toastmaster of the day, over to you.
Thank you very much to DTM Chidi. Apologies for the earlier introduction. Distinguished Toastmaster Chidi, thank you very much for that introduction. And now we'll be moving on to the next role player who will be playing the role of the accountant. And this person is someone who I've also known all through my time at Toastmasters, always helpful, and I would say has delivered sensational speeches. And that's the person of Toastmaster Austin Madripoda. Toastmaster Austin, over to you.
Good evening, AWN Toastmasters Club. Happy New Year. Happy Valentine. It's not yet too late.
Same to you.
Today's meeting promises to be sensational. When you see beautiful, hardworking people, you would always like to be in their midst. As your accountant, my role is to observe, note any overused words, long pauses, inappropriate words, repeated words, and inappropriate sounds, such as such words that could be repeated as follows: so, and, but. We encourage us to speak flawlessly without these crutch words. If you speak without the R's, they will beautify your speech and pass a sensational message to any audience. Ultimately, I shall report, and I hope my report will be deemed sensational. Dear sensational Toastmasters, there you have it. Back to you, the general evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Austin. And like he rightly mentioned, those pause fillers could make your speech to feel a little bit less sensational, but without it, of course, it's going to sound terrific. Now we're moving on to the next role player, and I'll say someone who plays the role of the listening evaluator, otherwise called the Hackmaster. And this person is someone who says he's a self-acclaimed foodie and someone I would like to put to a challenge of eating. And that's no other person than Toastmaster Abubakar Gilbert. Toastmaster Abubakar, over to you.
Thank you so much, the Toastmaster of the day. I tell you, food challenge, I never lose. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today I'll be playing the role of the Hackmaster, or the listening evaluator. So as the name sounds, the Hackmaster is someone who is the master of hack. In order for us to have a sensational meeting, the listening evaluator is a role that ensures Toastmasters or audience alike are listening to what is being said. It is often said that listening is almost, if not more important than speaking, because when someone speaks, in order for you to assimilate that message, you have to listen, not just hear what they have to say. So my job today is to make sure we actually listen to what is being said, and I will do that by asking questions at the end of the meeting. So I'll be called back towards the end of the meeting to ask a few questions, and please make sure you answer, otherwise I'll be very, very unhappy. The General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Abubakar. And about that challenge, you can fix a time and a date, and rest assured that only one person is going to emerge with that. Well, moving on into the crux of this meeting, and like at the introduction, the meeting has been said to be divided into two parts. The first is going to be the table topics, and the second is going to be the prepared speeches. For the table topics, before we move into that, I introduce myself as a Toastmaster, but I'm also going to be playing the role of the general evaluator, whose role is to ensure that he observes everything that goes on in the meeting and gives a report at the end of the meeting. So I'll also be doing that. But moving directly into the table topic section, where you're made to speak off the cuff, and one person who will be anchoring this session would be someone from the Surulere Toastmasters Club who loves listening to music and reading. Our mantra is, to thyself be true. And that's no other person than Toastmaster Ronke Adekombi. Toastmaster Ronke, over to you for the table topics.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Please, can you confirm that you can hear me and you can see me? Toastmaster of the day, can you help with that? Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you very much. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm so glad that I can be part of this sensational meeting, and I'm sure it's going to be a sensational one for everyone present. As the Toastmaster has rightly introduced, I will be the table topics master for the day. And what is my role as a table topics master for the benefit of those joining for the first time, in case we have any of such? My job is to lead you through the session where you get to learn how to speak without planning. Usually in Toastmasters parlance, we call it off the cuff. You didn't plan it, but then you get to speak. Now, we believe in Toastmasters that while there are times where you have the opportunity to prepare for your speeches, there are many other times that you don't get the opportunity to prepare. The table topics master, the timer, are taking time to explain to us how our timing will be, but I'm not going to consider it grievous, and I'm sure you are not going to consider it grievous if I just take us through it one more time. So for the table topic session, it's expected that when you are called up, you would speak for a minute and 30, no, you speak for 2 minutes, that's your time lag. But if you speak for a minute and 30 seconds, you'll still be considered eligible. Madam Timer, please correct me if I'm wrong. 1 minute, 30 seconds, your speech will be eligible for voting. So
you're super right.
Okay, thank you very much. So for 1 minute and 30 seconds, your speech will still be considered. But then you have the help of the timer who constantly brings up a timing card to show you how you are performing with time, because we also keep to time at Toastmasters International. If you speak for more than 2 minutes, 15 seconds, sorry, then you have done more than is required. Then you are beginning to go into maybe a prepared speech, and your speech will no longer be eligible to be considered for voting. Now, I want to see how many of us is ready. So if you're ready, just give me a thumbs up so that I can begin in earnest. A sensational thumbs up. I would like to see sensational thumbs up. Yes, I can see. Sensational thumbs up. Thank you, Madam President. I can see your chart. Okay, it's 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Thank you very much. 2 minutes, 30 seconds. So I'm going to start now. I have from questions 1 to 5, and I hope we properly labeled ourselves so I can know what to call. I would have loved if we had differentiated Toastmasters from guests. But since we don't have that, I'm going to start with a Toastmaster. And I'm going to start with this Toastmaster that I love to speak. I love her voice, and I think I've told her before. Almost certain she knows I'm going to call her. So Toastmaster Natasha, the president of the club, can we have you unmuted? You have from questions 1 to 5. Can you pick one of the questions?
I am actually evaluating the table topics today.
Oh, apologies. Okay. Oh, okay. Another time. So I don't know if Yetunde Lawal is a Toastmaster. I want a Toastmaster first. Okay, I'm going to go for Toastmaster Gimba. I know Toastmaster Gimba is also on the role players list, but I'm still going to go for him. Toastmaster Gimba, forgive me.
Yetunde is a Toastmaster.
Oh, okay. So Toastmaster Yetunde, please can you unmute and pick from 1 to 5?
Five. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
5. I said 5.
Okay, you said 5. Oh, this is a very good one. So listen carefully. Now the question says, a good night rest is refreshing. So I want you to talk about the most refreshing one you've had lately. A good night rest is refreshing. So talk about the most refreshing one you've had lately. Thank you.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. A good night's rest is refreshing. I think for me, almost every night I sleep like a log after a long day at work. So what I basically believe in doing is drawing a line between work and play. So every day, whatever is the hassle I face at work, or whatever problem I face at work, once I get home, I have a technique which I use, which is called switching off. I switch off for the day, and I face my family, and after that I sleep off. So it's been a while I did this. So as long as I sleep, I really do not have any worries because I've switched off for that day, and every problem that is remaining will be waiting for me at work the next day or wherever it is that I have to face. So as they say, sufficient is the problem of each day for that day.
Yeah.
So that's the mantra that I live my life by. I do not let things worry me. I try as much as possible to go to bed with a clear head and a clear heart. And then I face the next day as it comes. So a good night rest for me is almost every night in a row, except when my baby doesn't let me sleep. Thank you. The table topics master.
Sensational. Thank you, Toastmaster Yetunde. So I called the Toastmaster first so that we can establish the pattern with the Toastmaster. So I want to believe that every guest now has a hang of how the table topics run. So I'm going to be calling on another person, or if you have a volunteer, please can you signify so I can just call you so we don't need to go through this the hard way. Okay, I see no volunteers, so I'm going to go for Toastmaster. Okay, Toastmaster Chuku. I don't know if I'm going to know how to pronounce that. Are you volunteering or giving me a thumbs
Toastmaster
up?
Chooks is fine.
Okay, Toastmaster Chooks. You would
Yeah.
like to pick, okay, good. Now pick from 1 to 4 since 5 is gone.
November 1st is my birthday, so I'll be picking number 1.
Great. Have you ever wished you could refresh life as you would an Excel document? I'll repeat the question. So you are expected to tell us if there was ever a point in your life where you ever felt you could, where you ever wished you could refresh life as you would an Excel document. Your time starts now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Table Topics Master. Now, life can be beautiful, but life can be complicated. Ultimately, life is what you make of it. I said these words in December last year as I spoke to a group of colleagues at the office. And sitting here thinking about those words exactly takes me to a point in time where I almost lost my voice, my life. It was an early Sunday morning as I was making my way for a church service. I woke up in a hospital bed. Bruises, swellings, and a few scars. At that point, I felt I would never walk again. I felt life would not be the same anymore. And in that bed, in those very moments, I thought to myself, can I just go back to that point before I cross the road? Maybe I would take a second longer before crossing. Maybe I wouldn't be at that point when the bike passed. But unfortunately, life goes on. Luckily for me, I'm here today, legs intact, body intact, and I can smile again. But in those moments, if it was possible, I would have turned back the hands of time. Over to you, the Table Topics Master.
Sensational. Thank you very much. So I'm going to, because we are not properly named, I still don't know who is a guest and who isn't. So is there a guest I would like to volunteer right now? Or you just want me to pick every other person? A guest? Do we have any guests? No, I don't think so. Okay, so I'm going to pick Toastmaster Abdul Rahim. Toastmaster Abdul Rahim, can you unmute your mic? We now have from questions 2 to 4.
Oh yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear, sir.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, I was really trying to respond to a message when I had my name. Okay, where are we? Number 3. 3 is the best number, lucky number, and works all the time.
Yes, and I agree with you because this is a sensational question. Can you share with us how you intend to relax during your next vacation? How you intend to relax during your next vacation? Your time is starting now.
Okay. Probably if I start like this, everyone can relate. So when I chill with the big boys, we're not going to run kitty, we're not going to run kata, but we're going to have fun. Basically, for the next vacation, I'm looking at is something I developed 2 years ago, and it's something I believe has come to stay. Normally, I usually travel with my wife. I usually travel by myself. The next, my wife came along, and then my kids came along. But I realized that because of the nature of my work and all, I'm usually not stationed in one place at a time. I'm constantly on the move. I decided that anytime there's a holiday and I happen to be free, I'll just take everybody and we'll go somewhere outside where we stay, and we'll just go and be ourselves, beat ourselves. And that has proven to be one of the best things I have done for the family, rather we have been together. Because I realized that when you spend time with your loved one, with the wife, with the kids, when you're not disturbed, you tend to hear a lot of things that you don't hear. You tend to see a lot of things that you don't see. You tend to witness life past you. And I'm going to tell you this for a certainty. My next holiday, by the grace of God, is definitely going to be with my family. Seeing them happy, making them smile, and of course, watching them spend my money while I just have to pay the bill. Thank you so much. Over to you, Topic Master.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Abdul Rahim. So I have just 2 questions and I have an idea of which call. So next is Toastmaster Lekon. Toastmaster Busola, get ready because you're going to take the last one. Toastmaster Lekon, I hope I still have the time, Madam Timer.
No, your time, sorry, your time is up.
Oh, so I can't take
mistress.
Oh, so I can't take even one more. Thank you. So Toastmaster Lekon, you have been saved by the bell. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who participated at the table topic session. And I will hand over back to the Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you very much to the Table Topics Master. That was a terrific session. And now, before we move past the wonderful speeches we had, it's good to note that the last speaker did mention that he wants to spend more time with his family the next time he goes on vacation. And the last time was most touching for me, where he says he'll see them happy while they spend his money. Salute to you and keep on doing all you are doing for your family. At this point, the table topic session is over. For now is when we call for voting. So we're going to be voting for the speakers according to who we feel was the best speaker in the table topic section. The hosts, I would like you to bring up the polls now so that everyone in attendance can place their votes. All right, before we move into voting, just to be sure everyone is, well, the polls are up, and whilst we're voting, I would also like for the timer to go ahead and give the timer report on the speeches just concluded to be sure everyone on this list is eligible for voting. The timer, over to you.
Thank you very kindly, the Toastmaster of the day. The speakers have spoken sensationally. I think I got that right. Toastmaster Yetunde Lawal spoke for 1 minute 31 seconds. Toastmaster Chuks spoke for 2 minutes 10 seconds. And Toastmaster Abdulrahim spoke for 1 minute 45 seconds. Which is to say all of them are eligible for voting. Thank you. Over to you, the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Madam Simon, for that report. Now, everyone, you can proceed to voting. We'll leave 1 minute for that, and once that is done, we'll go ahead to the table topic evaluations. 1 minute for voting, and we'll be back for evaluations. We still have about 8 people who are yet to vote. Please go ahead to vote. We have about 20 seconds left for voting. It's time for you to decide, like Nigeria would be deciding come the year 2023. it's going to be a wonderful topic of discussion. But for now, let's focus on casting our votes for the best table topic speaker. All right, the polls are up now, and we'll be moving on to the table topics evaluation. To evaluate the table topic session, we have no other person than the president of the AWN Toastmasters Club and the person of Toastmaster Natasha Ibori. Toastmaster Natasha, over to you.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests yet again. That was a sensational table topic session. Everybody spoke so wonderfully and I was thoroughly engaged in each of the speeches. The questions were also really, really exciting. I love when the questions match with the theme of the day. And the first question that Toastmaster Yetunde was asked was around the most refreshing night's sleep that she has had recently. I thought this was quite a humorous question. I was not expecting it at all, but Toastmaster Yetunde, I'm sure, was equally as surprised and still managed to handle the session like a pro. She said that she often sleeps like a log, and I loved that expression. It kind of evoked a lot of imagery, I'm sure, in all of our minds, as that's really, really expressive imagery. I also really enjoyed how your speech was quite conversational. You were able to speak to us like you're speaking to somebody right in front of you, and it made us feel very relaxed, especially as it was the first table topics. You didn't seem to be too stressed during your speech, which is always nice to listen to. However, I think that you might have broken character at one point when you said it's been a while that you did this. I wasn't sure if you were referring to sleeping or you're speaking out of character. And I like how you said you switch off and then you sleep off. So oftentimes when you repeat certain phrases or certain words, it adds a nice tempo to your speech. And I loved the quote that you used around sufficient is the problem of each day. I think adding quotes to your speech always does make it more interesting, and it's something that I think I'm going to remember. I'd never heard that saying before. And I also love how you concluded by saying you get a good night's rest. And we thought that was going to be the end of the speech, but then you said, except when my baby doesn't let me sleep. So there was a huge except there that added this twist to your conclusion that I found quite humorous. So that was a really great speech, Toastmaster Yetunde. And everybody should feel free to continue to write their comments and their praises in the chat. Then we had Toastmaster Chooks, who had the question, have you ever wished you could refresh life like you could refresh an Excel document? And I also found this question interesting, especially for Toastmaster Chooks, as I know that he is a whiz on Excel. So I found his answer to be quite compelling. It was very brave of you to give an actual story. Oftentimes, a table topic, you'll see people just give little parts of stories, but your speech had a very clear introduction, a middle, and an ending. It was beautifully told. Your voice commanded attention, and there was unexpected bits as well that made us want to keep listening. You used pauses very well. And you are very clearly an expert in storytelling, especially in the part where you said you were walking to church and then somehow you landed in a hospital bed. It kind of, I'm sure you could have imagined how we were gasping behind our mute buttons. So your conclusion was also very strong when you said in those moments, then you would have turned back the hands of time. Saying hands of time as well is it's a really strong expression to use. So all in all, I really, really enjoyed your table topic speech, Toastmaster Chooks. And last but not least, we had Toastmaster Abdul Rahim, and his question was, how you intend to relax during your next vacation? And this question was quite interesting, as it's definitely in keeping with the theme of the day. And I'm always curious to know how people relax, as I'm sure a lot of us are constantly stressed in doing things. And Toastmaster Abdul Rahim definitely made us laugh, speaking directly to a popular song about chilling with the big boys and running kitty kitty kata kata, which was something that evokes some imagery as well. It's always great to have people adding humor into their speeches, especially because it's difficult to do, and it is definitely something that people seek. We all, especially as Nigerians, we love a good laugh. So we appreciate you for doing that. And especially as you ended your speech saying you love watching your family spend your money and you have to foot the bill. That is something that we are definitely conscious of. I'm sure all of us have that on our minds. So also playing directly to things that we can all relate to is always great to add into your speech. So overall, this table topic session was 10 out of 10. Our table topics master was very, very well versed in specifically providing the first spot to a Toastmaster and then going on to giving hopefully more guests a chance. But it seems like we have mostly Toastmasters on today. But all in all, really, really great session. So thank you all so much for participating. Back to you, our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, the Table Topics Evaluator, Toastmaster Natasha. Thank you for the succinctly delivered evaluations. And of course, it was a terrific session altogether, sensational, if you ask me to describe in one word. Now we've come to the end of the Table Topic session, and we'll be moving into the prepared speeches. Now, when we go into the prepared speeches, what are you likely to expect? You expect that Toastmasters have sat down, put together words in a very well-structured manner to come out here and deliver in the most sensational of manners. Now, we'll just take 1 minute to catch our breaths from everything we've experienced before we launch into the prepared speeches. Take a second, catch a breather, send a message to someone, say hi, reach out, while we get our mind ready and our ears ready for prepared speeches. Send a message to someone who you do not know on this platform, just say hi, send a word of encouragement to one of the speakers who is giving a table topic speech or the evaluators. Just reach out to someone, say hi, and let's get ready. We'll have about 30 seconds for this, and once we're done, we'll dive right into the prepared speeches. Somehow, as this activity is going on, no one has sent me a message. Hallelujah. Please reach out to someone, just send a message to someone. It's been a long day. Send some comforting and encouraging words before we move on in this meeting. All right, wonderful, wonderful. I finally got a message, and it was a very interesting one. It made me, it made me laugh when I saw it, and it was from Toastmaster Abubakar. Toastmaster Abubakar, let's go on that challenge that we spoke about. And if you win, just maybe, we may go on and exchange vocal cords like you mentioned. All right. So now, thank you, Toastmaster Abubakar. I appreciate that. All right, right now, it's time to dive into the prepared speeches. And what's better way than to launch off with a speech that is from the path of the persuasive influence. Level 1, which is mastering the fundamentals, and the project is Introduction to Vocal Variety and Body Language. The title, hold on for that. We're going to introduce the evaluator who will give us the objectives of this speech. Then I introduce the title as well as the speaker. To evaluate this speech is going to be no other person than the Area 17 Director in the person of Toastmaster Babatunde Adegbuti. Toastmaster Babatunde, over to you.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Good evening.
Okay, thank you very much. I would be evaluating my very good friend, Toastmaster Austin Madwe Bunam. Toastmaster Austin likes to call me the governor, hoping that one day I'll become governor of some states. Today, Toastmaster Austin would be delivering a speech with a purpose to seek vocal variety and body language. The major purpose of his speech is to see how he can incorporate vocal variety and body language to enhance his speech. I have heard Toastmaster Austin speak severally. I have no doubt whatsoever that he will do a smashing job. Over to you, Toastmaster Austin. Congratulations in advance.
Thank you, Toastmaster Babatunde. So Toastmaster Austin will be delivering a speech titled Once Upon a Time. Once Upon a Time, Toastmaster Austin. Over to you.
Stories are a communal currency of humanity. Once upon a time is a kind of chronicles of my experience growing up as a child to as an adult. Please, I would encourage you to lend me your ears. It promises to be sensational, but the terrific thing about this storytelling is that there is a message you would glean or learn or derive. Chronicles of St. Austin, or Once Upon a Time. Act 1, Scene 1. It was at Obosi, Anambra State, Southeast Nigeria. On one Easter afternoon, we had finished eating our rice and stew. And everybody had deserted, left home, leaving just me and my mother. Oh, my loving mother. I was kind of bored staying at home. In those days, you would normally call a masquerade. Where I come from, we call it more masquerade. It's Easter holiday. A lot of people are arrived from all over the world. And it's a thing of pride for you to be seen with masquerades that are wielding canes, sometimes chasing people and flogging them and making money. As I saw a beautiful masquerade passing by our front yard, I screamed, "Mwa Amobia," which means masquerade, may I please come? Before the masquerade could say, "Please come," my mother screamed from the back, "Chukunonso, remember, you have not been initiated." What? Whether or not I was initiated, it was not written on our foreheads. I could still hear the echo of my mother's voice. I'm here to forgive her for messing up my boastful story the following week after the holidays. The lesson is sometimes our mother's tough love could be what we need. Imagine how many of us that would have gotten hurt if not for our mother's tough love. Act 1, Scene 2. we had Yoruba friends who were living in Obosi. Obosi is like 5 minutes or 10 minutes from Onitsha. They had come, their parents were living, they are working in Southeast, Anambra State, and they are just rented a flat. We were so excited because we had lived in Lagos. They invited us. And some of us, we are trying to play senior citizens. And they asked us, would you like to eat? We prepared some jollof rice. Some of us said, no, they will not eat. But I whispered, please, may I just test the rice? They gave me a bowl of rice. I ate to my full. Remember, others had turned down the offer. Then I asked again, are you satisfied? Would you need another? Others had turned down the offer and there was plenty to eat. I said, I wouldn't mind. They gave me another bowl. And I ate my second time satisfaction. What I'm smiling is because some of us got home. Our parents had gone from one meeting to another meeting to another meeting. As a result, some of our parents came back very late because of multiplicity of meetings. Why some were suffering from pangs of hunger had retired to bed early. They are Toastmasters. Are there opportunities you have turned out because of pride or because of, what is it? Opportunities they say come but once. These sensational stories, I've learned so many lessons from them. And wherever I go, I try to let people understand that this life is so easy. This life is not as difficult as people think it is. If only they see it that even after we are done, we will be thinking of the moments that we could have cherished, the sensational, the terrific moments we could have shared, but we did not because of pride, because of feeling the boss. Dear Toastmasters and guests, I wish I had the time to tell you more about the Chronicles of St. Austin. But I hope that this once upon a time, these stories would have an effect on you to seize opportunities and to sometimes give tough love to your children, to your friends, by advising them, giving them sensational, fantastic advice that though they may think they don't need them, but eventually they will be grateful for. Back to you, the Toastmaster of the day.
Let's put our hands together for that wonderful delivery by Toastmaster Austin. Let's just give him a round of applause. If you find the icon for the applause, you can just go ahead and hit that, and let's appreciate that wonderful speech and delivery. The Chronicles of St. Austin. Wonderful one there, TM Austin. And of course, you have to look at your friends, loved ones. And when it does arise that there needs to be some sort of advice given, do not hesitate to do that. Because they could find value in that advice. And ultimately, those moments count for a lot in the case of those relationships. Wonderful delivery there. So we'll just give about a minute for people to send in messages. Appreciate the speaker, Toastmaster Austin. You can just send in messages in the chat box to him. You can send it privately or to everyone. We'll just give it a minute for that before we move on to the next speaker. All right, well done, everyone. So right now, moving on to the second speaker in this meeting and in the session of prepared speeches. And this next speaker is one who learned the same trade as I did, an electrical engineer and a project management practitioner. He's the current president of Total Toastmasters Club, and he also is part of many initiatives that focus on helping people achieve their personal goals and their dreams. He's going to be speaking from the path of dynamic leadership, level 3, which is increasing knowledge, and the project is titled Inspire Your Audience. Coming in this meeting where the theme is refresh, and he has the project to inspire his audience. This person is no other person than Toastmaster Lekon, but before I introduce his speech, I'd like to call on DTM Chidi to please read the objectives of TM Lekon's speech.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Toastmaster Lekon, he was speaking from the dynamic leadership part to inspire your audience. The objective of your speech is for you to practice writing and delivering a speech that inspires others. The purpose of your speech is basically to inspire your listeners. Your speech can be in whatever form you want it to be, and you have 5 to 7 minutes to present the speech. I wish you the very best. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Chidi. We're going to be having Toastmaster Lekon, and his speech is titled Keep Fighting. Keep fighting, Toastmaster Lekon. Over to you.
A few years ago, a friend of mine borrowed my car. He said he needed it for a few hours. But a few minutes after he left with the car, he called me on the phone and said, Lekon, your car's been stolen. I was perplexed, speechless. I felt a palpable fear run from the center of my brain, through my spine, down to the sole of my feet. But before I could gather my thoughts, my friend just busted into laughter from the other end and said, oh, Lekon, I'm just joking. I'm downstairs. Come collect your car keys. Even though he said that, I was immobilized for a few seconds. I couldn't move. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, that experience with my friend had a terrific impact on my life. I'm sure some of you are wondering what is so special about that. What actually surprised me was that my body could not differentiate between falsehood and truth. The news that my friend gave me was false, but because I believed it and I acted on it, it began to control every part of my body. This experience made me begin to ponder and actually dig into different areas of my life, asking the question, is it possible that there are areas of my life that are controlled by a lie? Information that is not necessarily true. You see, I've realized that even though information may be false, they control us. Some of this false information are a product of our past experiences. Sometimes bad breaks, disappointments, heartbreaks that are in no way sensational. These experiences, unfortunately, never leave us the same. They actually leave us with a damaged self-image. They actually make us begin to long for something less than what we dreamed when we were young, when we thought about how we're going to travel around the world, how we're going to become very rich and very influential. You know, it's like what happens to the circus elephant. The circus elephant, from when it is young, has a string tied around its leg and then to a stake by the circus master. And when the elephant tries to move around, it finds out that there's a limitation because of the stake. It feels a sharp pain and is unable to move as freely as it wants. After a while, the elephant accepts the limit of the string and it stops trying to move beyond the length of the string. Why? Because it does not want to experience any pain. And even though this circus elephant has become very huge, sometimes as heavy as 6,000 kilograms, and it has the capacity to pull the stake along with it, this elephant never tries to go outside the boundaries set by the length of the string. What had happened to the elephant is simple. The limitation around his leg has moved from its leg to its brain. And throughout its life, it never tries to go beyond that limitation. I have found out that this is also true about us humans. These experiences make us to cut short the size of our dreams, and we settle for things that are mundane. The truth, however, though, is that the true champion is not the person that is never knocked down on the ring. I have discovered that the true champion is the one that, even though it's knocked down on the ring, he chooses to stand up one more time and decides to fight again, try again. And even though he receives jabs left, right, he chooses to rise again and keep fighting. Most of us are familiar with the story of Thomas Edison, about how he performed about 10,000 experiments when he wanted to invent the filament bulb and how he failed. One of his associates told him, "Sir, now that we have failed about these 10,000 times, what are we going to do?" Thomas looked at him and said, "We have not failed 10,000 times. We have only discovered 10,000 ways by which it will not work. And the rest is history. Today, we use the filament bulb." The same is true about you. You might have failed many times. What makes you a champion, however, is that even though you fail and fall, you choose to stand up again and keep fighting, because that is the only way you can achieve your dreams. The Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Lekon. That was a wonderful, wonderful speech. Keep fighting. Keep fighting. Let's go on to send words and encouragement and feedback as well to the speaker. You can send it personally or in the open chat. Let's just go ahead and do that for a minute. And the story of the circus elephant is one that hits me. The first time I came across that, it was quite revealing to me. The saying that animals are habitual in nature. Humans as well could find themselves in that space. And it's just funny that even at some point, they get to remove that thread from the elephant's leg, but it doesn't move past that limit that has been set mentally, like Toastmaster Lekon rightly pointed out. Let's go ahead and give him some words of encouragement and feedback in the chat and get ourselves ready for the next speech. Well done, Toastmaster Lekon, and I'm sure the evaluator has gotten some notes down that will be delivered at the end of this session. Wonderful, wonderful. Keep the chats coming in as we get ready for the next speaker. All right, and you can still keep the messages coming in whilst we get the introduction set for the next speaker. And the next speaker is someone who I've also known for a long time in and out of Toastmasters. She is a passionate lady who loves living life positively, and you get to feel that energy around her. She also likes and enjoys reading, listening to cool and sweet music. She joined Toastmasters in the year 2016 and was the inaugural president of the AWN Toastmasters Club. Right now, she currently serves as a club coach, and she will be speaking from the path effective coaching from level 3, which is increasing knowledge, and the project 1 is reaching consensus. I'll be calling on her evaluator, but before I do, this person that I described in this manner, so succinctly and sweetly, like her profile rightly shows, is no other person than Toastmaster Jane Osenwinki. To evaluate her speech is no other person than DTM Chidi. DTM Chidi, will be handing the platform over to you to read the objectives of Toastmaster Jane's speech.
The Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Jane. I can't see her on the
Hello,
call
can
right
we
now.
I think there's an audio challenge.
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you to DTM Chidi. Toastmaster Austin, please confirm you can hear us. Okay, I think he is having challenges with his audio. DTM Chidi.
Yes, Toastmaster Chuk, I was saying I cannot see Toastmaster Jane on the call at this time.
Recording in progress. 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 Recording in progress.
All right, thank you very much to DTM Chidi. Pardon me, I would get used to that. All right, so we're moving on to the next speaker in the absence of Toastmaster Jane. And the next speaker is someone I've introduced a couple of times in this meeting. She is someone who grabbed my hands and led me through the stairs of what we know to be Toastmasters, from level 1 to level 2, and where I stand right now, about to complete my level 5. And that's no other person than the person I've been struggling to introduce today, DTM Chidi. She'll be speaking from the path, persuasive influence, level 1, which is mastering fundamentals, and the project, speech 2, is evaluation and feedback. To evaluate her speech is no other person than Toastmaster Austin. Toastmaster Austin, over to you to read the objectives of DTM Chidi's speech.
Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Chukwuemeka Ogboniba. DTM Chidi Mado is a prolific speaker. Tonight, she shall be speaking on level 1, mastery of fundamentals, evaluation, and feedback. This is her second speech, and the feedback she got from the first sensational speech she delivered was that she has to balance her pace, not too fast, not too slow, balance. We hope to see that as she delivers a terrific speech. She's a sensational speaker, and I hope that we'll have a sensational moment listening to her. Back to you, the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Austin. DTM Chidi will be delivering the speech titled Believe. Believe, DTM Chidi. Over to you.
Morale. High. Morale. High. Morale. High. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, jolly good evening to you. It was the year 2010. The location was the NYSC camp in Edo State. I belonged to the platoon 2, and it was the volleyball competition period. And my team, my platoon members, had been paired to go head to head with platoon 8. Picture this, we were not the best out there. However, platoon 8 seemed to have somehow managed to get, in quote, the best volleyball players in their squad. It was a typical case of David and Goliath. Although at this point, we didn't feel so much like David. Understanding or knowing that we could surmount that challenge. I tried to pump energy, pump enthusiasm into my team members. But that was not to be. I thought about it. What would I do? What did I need to do? What should I do just to make them feel the adrenaline that I had coursing through my veins? Now, I am a competition enthusiast, not because I want to be the best, but because I know that each time I go into a competition, I come out better than I was when I went into it. It's akin to a speech contest in Toastmasters. You probably are at a level 10, and then you participate in the speech contest, and you discover that suddenly you're at a level 50. That was my mindset. And that was the mindset I wanted to inculcate into my fellow members, my team members. Because Godwin Eddy, a British engineer, has said that if you stand for nothing, or if you do not stand for something, you will stand for nothing. And all I wanted to do was make my friends understand and believe that we had what it takes to beat the best. Or go into that battle with a positive mindset, with a champion mindset. Whether we win or lose, we'll be proud of ourselves that we had done something great. I thought about how to go about this. How do I begin to change the mindset of people? How do I begin, just like Toastmaster Leko had told us, to begin to fight back, to keep fighting? And a thought came to my head. Explore not their weaknesses, but explore their soft spots, the touch points that when you tickle it, they would have no option than to dance to your tune. And look at the team. And I knew that there were different people, different personalities. They had different expectations and they had different motivating factors. And what I did was to identify a certain young man who was friends with practically everyone in the platoon and had a way of making the ladies in the platoon blush sensationally. I reached out to him, brought him on the team, and I asked the commandant to give me the power to tweak the team in a way that would favor us. He gave the go ahead, and so we started work. All I had to do was change the mindset, make them believe, make them not give up because they were afraid. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, as this engagement continued, bringing in Dakbo, who was the ladies' man and was friends with everyone, bringing in Leko, who had a sensational tone and had his way with words. Someone who would not take no for an answer from anyone. We went to work, we had engagements, we had meetings after meetings, we had hangouts. And when the D-Day came for that battle, stepped into the field with my team members, and I went, "Morale!" And the response was a resounding hi. No longer were we the shy persons who did not believe in themselves. We were now vocal. We believed, and we were going to fight, we were going to pull. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, it was C. Joy Bell, an Australian author, who said that you should not be afraid of your fears. They are not there to scare you. They are there to let you know that something is worth it. The question is, what are you afraid of? What's your fear? Are you scared of public speaking? Join Toastmasters. Are you scared of failure? Take that step. And just like Lego said about Thomas Edison, an inventor, when you fail, do not see it as a failure, but see it as an opportunity to do something better. See it as an opportunity to tweak and do something different from the way you've been doing it. And most importantly, believe that you have what it takes to be great. You have what it takes to be sensational. You have what it takes to be a champion. When you believe, it will come to pass. The Toastmaster of the day, you have the virtual lecture.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Chidi. Well done, well done, well done. Like as our custom is, let's go ahead to send in feedback, words of encouragement, appreciation for the speaker. You can send that via private chat. If you don't mind making it public, that's fine as well. Just go ahead and send in words of appreciation to the speaker as well as feedback. We'll take about 1 minute to do that while we get our mind, ears, and body ready for the next speaker. Well done, everyone. Well done. And with that, we'll be moving into the final prepared speech for today. Yeah, sorry about that. So we'll be moving into the final speech for today, and that's the prepared speeches. And Toastmaster Jane is with us now. Just confirm. Toastmaster Jane, please, can't seem to find you, but please confirm you're in the meeting room.
Yes, please. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So Toastmaster Jane, like I introduced earlier, was the inaugural president of the AWN Toastmasters Club. Currently, she serves as a club coach. She's also a positive lady who likes to live life positively. She enjoys reading as well as listening to sweet and cool music. She's speaking from the Path Effective Coaching, Level 3, which is increasing knowledge, and Project 1, which is reaching consensus. She's going to be evaluated by DTM Chidi. I was about to struggle again, but no, I caught myself. So DTM Chidi would be reading the objectives of Toastmaster Jane's speech. DTM Chidi, over to you.
Thank you most graciously, Toastmaster Cho. Toastmaster Jane, just like the Toastmaster of the day had introduced, you are speaking on reaching consensus, and you have chosen the option 2, which is to present a 5 to 7 minute speech on your experience in reaching consensus. The purpose of your project is for you to work with a group to practice reaching consensus on any topic. And the purpose of this speech is for you to discuss your experience leading a non-Toastmasters group towards consensus. Like I said earlier, you have 5 to 7 minutes, and I wish you the very best.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Chidi, for that introduction of the objectives. Toastmaster Jane will be delivering the speech titled Newcomers Program Initiative in NS. Newcomers Program Initiative in NS. Toastmaster Jane, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Good day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Happy Thursday to you all, and I'm super excited to be here today. Yes, so Newcomers Program Initiative in NS is an initiative that volunteers like us come together to help our community on how we can help people in Nova Scotia, new immigrants, students, people looking for jobs, how to get skilled, get the right skills on how to transit into a tech to get tech jobs, and also how to know how to fully transit into a new environment, because migrating to a new environment takes a lot, takes your well-being, takes everything about you. So we came up with this initiative, and happened to be one of the lead champions in that initiative in our little community here. So the initiative is usually sponsored by individuals who like-minded individuals who also want to add value to their community as well. It's sponsored that through with their time, with their finances, and also with resources as well, and also through connections, connecting people together, connecting people who can also contribute their quota through a resource as well in terms of cash and kind. So one very beautiful morning, we had a meeting together. So the president just told me, Jane, I want you to do, I just wanted to help this initiative to do a revamp on how we can fund in this initiative. So part before then, the funds in the initiative usually comes through members. They usually want to volunteer to give. So the president actually told me, okay, Jane, you'll be heading that as well. So I looked at myself, okay, fine, I need to get a group of people together and ensure that we have a collective agreement on how we can move this initiative to the next level. So firstly, what I did was to choose a team. So I looked up all people in my community, people who have the resources, who have the handwork to come together and rub minds together. So I was able to pick 3 team members. One was in the arm of government as well, because we also need to penetrate to the arm of government, how to see we can send proposals and also get loans from them as well. And secondly, was individual who are good in research, that's already skilled in research, and myself as well. So I got the team together. So the second step I did was to outline all the issues we have currently, what we're currently dealing with at the moment, and what we want to what we are looking forward to in terms of the revamping our fund structure in the community. And third thing, what I also did as well to facilitate an open discussion. So after I ensure that I listen information from the team members to see what we can do to revamp the current initiative on how we can get fund funding, because we require a lot of funding in this initiative as well. And listening information from them. So people, based on the feedback I got as well, people, my team members was okay, we need to probably need more volunteers, need to speak out to more people and get a lot of volunteers so we can get people to volunteer and contribute. And the other also options were also to send proposals letters out to organizations who support Black communities, who also support Black immigrants and students in terms of funding as well. So that after the opening discussion, so the fourth step was to also ensure that the team members participate. So I ensured that every team member's idea were also taken, those points were taken, and questions were also asked so that I can elicit more information from them so that they can be well understood as well. So the fifth stage I also did as well to come up with the proposal. Proposal was to have different options, which entails different options. So at the end of the day, we came up with 3 options. One of the options were, one, we will reach out to the mayor of the province. And the second option was also to reach out to all the community leaders in the province as well, to let them know we're trying to do a revamp on our initiative so we can draw more ideas from them, and also to see how they can be of support to us as well. And the third initiative was to also increase our volunteer space. So after that as well, the seventh stage was, what I did was to develop and finalize the options. So at the end of 3 options, at the end of that, we were able to come up with 2 concrete options, and then collectively agreed by the team members. I discussed it with the board and also the president. So after we all collectively agreed that we're going to go on with 2 options, one will be as mayor, which telling them about our initiative and how they can support us as well. And the second 2 is to reach out to the Black community members here that reach in volunteers and also that can help us in terms of fundraising as well. So we did that. The president was also pleased with those options, and we end up discussing it collectively with all the members in the initial, able to discuss with all the members, and we came up with those 2 options. Then after that, to set up, after getting all the consensus, we reached all the agreement. So I was able to send out all the draft proposals to all the Black community members and also the mayor. So as to speak, we were able to raise funds based on these decisions. We were able to raise funds for the community, and which currently helping the members as we speak right now. As a date, we are able to get members who up to 20 members as for the past 2 weeks inside this initiative that were able to transit to a tech organizations, and they were able to fully settle here in NS. And that was how my team were able to reach a consensus and ensure that that initiative was fully put to life and bettered as well. So I'll just end this bit as well. So I'll just end this by a quote by Martin Luther King Jr., which says, "A genuine leader is not a searcher for consensus, but a modeler of a consensus." Thank you, the Toastmaster.
I've seen that. I went to my result.
TM Chooks, we can't hear you. Are you speaking? I think you're on mute or something. Yes, better. Thanks.
All right, thank you very much. Sorry, apologies for that. So well done. What a wonderful presentation by Toastmaster Jane there. Like I was saying earlier, while my headphones were acting up, just go ahead and send in words of encouragement, feedback to the speaker, compliments as well, whilst we get ready to round up this session, which is getting the timers report and then going to voting. So let's go ahead and send in those words, and we'll just take about 30 seconds to do that before we move into the timers report. All right, Madam Timer, I hope you you are ready to deliver your report on the prepared speeches. So you can keep the words coming in, keep those compliments coming in, keep those feedback coming in, and we'll move into the timer's report so we stay on time. Madam Timer, over to you for the timer's report.
Yeah, thank you very kindly. The Toastmaster of the day. The speakers for the prepared speeches, they've spoken in a very sensational manner. They used their time judiciously. Okay, for TM Toastmaster St. Austin Chooks, he spoke for 7 minutes, 5 seconds. For Toastmaster Lekon Anthony, he spoke for 6 minutes, 50 seconds. For the amiable Didi Shidi Madu, she spoke for 7 minutes, 20 seconds. And Toastmaster Jane Osewingi spoke for 6 minutes, 75 seconds. All of the speakers are eligible for voting. Thank you. Over to you, the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Madam Timer, for giving your report in a timely manner as well. Wonderfully delivered. Right now, we're going to move into voting. So the polls will come up in a second, and we'll just have about 1 minute to cast our vote. Let's take 1 minute to vote for our option of best speaker for today. We have 1 minute to get through this. So let's do that quickly and get back to. Please permit me to switch my audio. All right, please confirm. Sorry, please confirm you can hear me.
I hear you, but there's a bit of echo.
All right, is it fine now? All right, so please host, please go ahead to share the results of the polls with me. And now we're moving straight into the evaluation session. And here we're going to have a run through all the speeches, and the evaluation for each of those speeches will be given. Taking on the hat of the general evaluator, I'd like to call on the first evaluator for the first speaker, and that's no other person than Toastmaster Babatunde Adebinde. Over to you, Toastmaster Babatunde.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Okay. I will be evaluating Toastmaster Austin. Toastmaster Austin, as usual, you nailed it again. The purpose of your speech was to show how vocal variety and body language can enhance a speech. And you show quite a number of things, but I was particularly looking for vocal variety and body language. Thus, these are my findings. I'm going to use the comment, recommend, and comment structure. Okay, so Toastmaster Austin, I'm not sure what you did, where I wrote all my evaluations have disappeared now. Oh, yeah, it is. So, first off, I like the fact that you used a lot of body language. It was apt. Your gesticulation, your facial movement, your use of stories, apt. Movement of the body, movement of the hand, well done. I observed that your energy was low, which is very unlike a Toastmaster Austin that I know. Toastmaster Austin has high energy. Your energy was low at the beginning, and you were consistent with that all through. So then I knew it was intentional. I observed that you were too close to the camera, so I was just seeing just your shoulder and your face. I want to see a part of your upper body too next time, so that you can position well before the camera. I didn't feel a lot of vocal variety, and this is me giving it to you the way it is. I was looking for more, since the purpose of the speech is vocal variety and body language. I felt a bit, but I needed more vocal variety. I picked some of your pronunciations. ASK is ask, not ask. I was afraid you were going to ask me. I'm not ready to die yet. You know, at some point you said, when you're talking about jollof rice, you said they gave me. I would have preferred to use I was given. Again, you said something like multiplicity of meetings. I would have preferred you said multiple meetings. What else did I like? I like your vivid categorization and description of your scenes. You were smiling all through, which helped your speech, your story, the translation of the Igbo language, and you ended with a slow but emphatic message that this life is simple and there's huge need for us to spend quality time with those that we love. Well done, Toastmaster Austin. Keep winning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Babatunde, for that wonderful evaluation there of Toastmaster Austin's speech. So I'll be calling on the next evaluator, who would be handling the evaluations for the second and the fourth speakers concurrently. Toastmaster Chidi, over to you for evaluations.
Thank you most graciously, Toastmaster Chuks. Toastmaster Leko, please confirm you're still in the room.
Yes, I'm in the room. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, Toastmaster Leko presented an inspirational speech that left us with a charge, left me with the urge to keep fighting and keep pushing. I love his choice of subject, keep fighting. Anyone who hears this subject would be curious to listen to him speak and to hear how he would tweak his speech around that topic. I wanted to hear him speak because I asked myself, is he talking about physical fight, throwing punches and jabs? Or was it an emotional fight, a psychological fight? What kind of fight does he want us to keep at? And he did very well in inspiring me, and I'm sure he also inspired the lot of us on this call. Toastmaster Leko, I loved how you started. It was a stunning, catchy start to your speech. You used a story that was captivating, and you used a story that would keep questions in the heart of your listeners. I love how you used descriptive word, how you spoke about hair running from the top of the center of your brain to your spine down to the sole of your feet. That was descriptive, and it would paint a clear picture in the mind of whoever was listening to you as it did me. I loved that you had a good speech area. You stood while speaking, the background was free of clutter, and you were very visible. My recommendation to you, Toastmaster Leko, is first, I did not hear you acknowledge the audience when you took control from the Toastmaster of the day. It would be good to acknowledge your audience. You could just say good evening or something to make the audience know that you appreciate them being there and listening to you. It would also be a bit more inspirational if you slowed down the speed at which you spoke. You spoke in a spirited manner, and that sometimes it tends to make one speak fast, even though you might not realize the fact that you're actually speaking fast. It would be good to insert a few pauses so you don't lose us, because you had a very good message. Overall, Toastmaster Leko, you had a spiffing speech organization, you had a clear opening, a clear body, and a clear closing. Congratulations for presenting a speech that was not just inspiring, but sensational and encouraging. Thank you. Toastmaster Jane Usembuli, it's confirmed you're here and ready for your evaluation.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Toastmaster Jane, congratulations on presenting a speech that was informative and introduced us to some of the activities of NS. I loved how you started, you greeted your audience, and you acknowledged the Toastmaster of the day who gave control of the virtual lecture to you. I love that you spoke with passion and you spoke with panache. I loved that your voice was clear, your words were easily understood, and I loved your background, your virtual background. That was very beautiful. I loved how you used a story to take us through your journey or through your experience of working with a non-Toastmasters team to reach consensus. Toastmaster Jane, congratulations on applying a Toastmasters value in your life outside of Toastmasters. Something you did that I love. So you reported the president of the organization in a first person. I would have loved you to have introduced vocal variety at that point. Speak in a tone that would denote who the president was, because you said, and the president said to me, Jane, I want you to. Okay. I felt it would have had more impact if you had changed the tone of your voice to make us know, this president, is he a male or a female? If you had changed the tone of your voice, that would have helped us with the image in our heart. Alternatively, you could use a reported speech, but the president told me he would love me to head the team. That way, there probably will be no need for you to change the tone of your voice. Like I said earlier, Toastmaster Jane, you speak like me, right? You speak fast. It'll be good to slow down in such pauses so that you don't lose your audience. I noticed you use the word so a lot. So. You would replace this so with some other adjective. So instead of saying so, I went so, right? You could fix in the words like, interestingly, I blah, blah, blah. Just use it so that you don't keep, and it doesn't count as a pause filler for you. Congratulations for introducing NS to us. I would have loved to know what NS stands for. And thank you for letting us know that you're championing a cause to make indigenous, blacks, newcomers to your environment assimilate and be able to adapt to that location. Well done on your speech. Mr. Toastmaster of the day. You have the virtual lecture.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Chidi. Thank you very much for delivering that for those evaluations.
Sophia University. It's I think.
Can the host please mute? Okay, thank you. All right. So thank you very much, TM Chidi, for delivering such sensational evaluations. The final evaluator or speech evaluator for this session is going to be no other person than Toastmaster Austin, who will be giving an evaluation for Toastmaster Chidi's speech. Toastmaster Austin, over to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Chuku Emele. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Absolutely, we can hear you.
Thank you. Dear Toastmasters and guests, let's give a round of applause to DTM Chidi for delivering a fantastic speech. This is my observation. On areas you excelled, good reference to another speech. Your listening skill was exemplary. Your pacing was perfect. You met that requirement. You were able to balance the pacing of your speech. Good use of quotes, good eye contact, vocal variety was good to go. Your skillful use of personal story was very obvious. Keep it up. Your topic was a matter of interest to the audience, and the audience were aware of what we were talking about. Use the word of the day. Good use of vocabularies. You did give us a brief profile of the second quote on areas you may need to work on. You may need to work on now. The other area is not entirely your fault. The audio, it was still at some point or disrupted. When you made the first quote, you referred to the first quote about if you do not stand for nothing, you do not stand for anything, you did not give us brief profile. We encourage you to do that. This is a surprising feedback, but for advanced prolific speakers, time management, that you are giving 7 minutes, 30 seconds means you have to use 7 minutes and some seconds. How about using exactly 7 minutes or 6 minutes, 50 seconds, and not 7 minutes, 5, 10, 20. This is for advanced speakers. On areas you may need to challenge yourself, speak more, incorporate this feedback, and manage your time as an advanced DTM. Use 7 minutes, if possible, at the dots. Thank you very much. Back to you, the general evaluator.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Austin, for that evaluation. With that, we've come to the end of the prepared speech evaluation, and we'll be carrying out a vote to confirm who we feel was the best evaluator in this session. The host, please help us put up the polls so we can go ahead to cast our votes. The polls are open. You have about 30 seconds to cast your vote, so we can round this up and stick to time. All right, can the host please? Let's all cast our votes. I see the polls are still open. You have about 30 seconds left to cast your votes. And the host, please help share the result of the polls carried out thus far, so we can give that at the closeout report. All right, at the start of this meeting, if you haven't cast your vote, please go ahead to do so. At the start of the meeting, when I introduced myself as the general evaluator and Toastmaster of the day, I said I could not carry out the process of evaluating the whole meeting as a singular person, and I had to do this as a team. And now the team is back at the end of this meeting to give an overall report, or let me call it a summary close of their report. And I'll be starting with the timer, and we'll run through this quickly to ensure that we finish the meeting as planned. Madam Timer, over to you for your closeout report.
Thank you very kindly, the Toastmaster of the day. We have been super sensational with this meeting. The meeting started at exactly 5 p.m. as earlier scheduled. And the speakers, they use their time judiciously. And we still have just 10 minutes to wrap up. I pray and I hope we'll make judicious use of the time, just so we close the meeting on time. Thank you very kindly. Over to you, the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Madam Timer, for that wonderfully delivered, succinct close-out report. Next off, we'll be having the grammarian to give us the report on how we fared using the word of the day and the use of the English grammar. Grammarian, over to you.
Thank you most graciously, Mr. General Evaluator. Wow. I'm excited to give those reports. Interestingly, we use the word of the day a whooping 38 times this evening. This is by far one of the most number of users of a word of the day in a Toastmasters meeting that I had attended in times past. A Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Chooks. Oh, all right, so let me report this way. Toastmaster Ibrahim used the word of the day once. Toastmaster Idowaya used the word of the day once. Please know that I'm reporting the word of the day day's use on the chat as well. Toastmaster Babatunde Adegbindi used the word of the day twice. Toastmaster Lekon used the word of the day twice. Toastmasters Natasha used it 3 times. Toastmaster Gimba used the word of the day 4 times. Our Toastmaster of the day used the word of the day 6 times. Toastmaster Rocket, the Table Topics Master, used the word of the day 6 times. Whilst our timer used the word of the day 7 times, then Toastmaster Austin used the word of the day 7 times. So we have a tie for the most use of the word of the day this evening. A timer, Toastmaster Josephine, and Toastmaster Austin. Well done to everyone who incorporated the word of the day in their speech this evening. There were interesting use of English for me. Toastmaster Natasha used the word compelling while she was speaking to represent, or rather to talk about what she got response or feedback from persons, or rather the impact of the topic master's questions on people. I mean, compelling is a visual word that basically just creates in your mind that image of evoking response or getting response. Anyhow, she also used the word commanded attention, like what questions commanded attention. Toastmaster Jane used the word elicit, which means to get information from people, being very little. Toastmaster Leko Anthony used very descriptive words from the center of my brain to my spine, down to the sole of my feet. He used the word immobilized, he used perplexed. These are interesting words. They said smashing. Toastmaster Yetunde used imagery when she said sleep like a log. There are so many interesting words that if I begin to recount them, or I'm going to overshoot my time, I can see the red card. Now, very quickly, some of the words that I heard. A speaker said really, really. Now, instead of saying really, really, you could use the word genuinely. I can be really, really angry, genuinely angry, very, very hungry, very, very interesting, truly hungry, truly sad, instead of very, very. Now, when we pronounce the word mother, we have to be careful because the TH has to go through your tongue, through between your feet. So it's not mother, it's mother. right? Let's pay attention to that. Overall, I think we did very well with our use of English this evening, and well done on introducing the word of the day in our meeting this evening. Mr. General Evaluator, over to you, and Madam Timer, for giving.
Thank you very much, DTM Chidi, for that wonderful report. Now we'll be moving on to the art counter in the person of Toastmaster Austin to give his closeout report. Toastmaster Austin, over to you.
Good evening, Toastmaster Chukwuemele Boneba. Thank you for sensational performance as the general evaluator. This is my report. Dear AWN Toastmasters, we need to work on as follows. So, for me, I am, that, all right. Well, so I think I'm going to remember, please, let's stop using I think. Then the, and all right, you see, you know, and so to also L and S so as well, M as well, so M so as well. How does that sound in your ears? So many so's. This is a meeting that we've used the word so as crutch. We've broken every record. Let's work on that. I have so many to report, but significantly, our sensational use of so, it's interestingly dispiriting. To encourage ourselves, let's use such words as a result, consequently, therefore, besides, more so, moreover, furthermore, above all, etc. Those can join clauses, phrases, sentences, and as a result, we no longer do or crutch so No need of crowning any our master. No need for that. But please, let's work on this. I'm sure if we do that, our speeches and role playing will be sensational. Thank you very much. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Austin, for delivering the accounters report. The last team member who will be coming on to give their report is the person who played the role of the listening evaluator, or the hackmaster as it's fondly called. And that's the person of Toastmaster Abubakar Gimba. Toastmaster Abubakar, over to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. Now, let us test our listening skills. Someone in this meeting, someone that spoke today, wanted to chill with the big boys. Who is that person? If you know the answer, you can just unmute and tell me.
Master Abdul Rahim.
That is correct. Thank you very much. Audience 1, Hackmaster 0. All right. Distinguished Toastmaster Chidi went to NYSC camp. During her NYSC camp days, she was assigned to platoon
16.
Okay, Toastmaster Chooks, she was assigned to platoon 2. Okay, that is good. Audience 2, Hackmaster 0. I have just 2 more questions because of time. What is the name of the organization Toastmaster Jane volunteers at? Someone should tell us the name of that organization.
Yes.
Distinguished Toastmaster Chidi, not you. Okay, it seems as if the Hackmaster is getting 1 point. Anyone? Anyone? All right, I take it. Now my last question. To thyself be true is
What's
someone's
the
mantra.
answer now?
Sorry?
What is the answer?
Actually, I did not know that. I was hoping someone would tell me, but I will reach out to Dr. Jane later and ask her.
That was sensational to have awarded yourself a point.
I know, nobody knew, so.
I was going to answer, you said not me.
Well, you know it, obviously, because you mentioned it. I just missed it again. So what is it? To thyself be true is someone's mantra. Who is that person? To thyself be true. Yes, that is correct. Thank you very much.
Ronke Adekombi.
That is correct. Thank you so much. Well done, guys. The Toastmaster of the day, over to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Abubakar there. Thank you for delivering your reports in a very humorous manner. Well, with that, the team has come to the end. And as the general evaluator, I'd like to mention just two things in addition. One, I noticed at the start of the meeting, we started on time. We also read the rules, but they were repeated in terms of the time, how the timing is done. The timer went ahead to read it, and before the table topic started, the table topics master spent some time introducing it again. That could have saved us a couple seconds, but I think that's fine. And the general evaluator did not introduce the table topics evaluator, which led to the table topics evaluator being called up for table topics. Going forward, the general evaluator or the Toastmaster, whoever is in charge at that time, should ensure they introduce the evaluators as well, so they're exempted from the course of the table topics. Aside from that, this meeting has been well run, and every role player played a very important part in making this possible. To that end, I'm going to like to take on my hat of Toastmaster of the day and hand over control of the meeting back to the president of AWN Toastmasters Club. Thank you, and over to you, TM Natasha.
So I think that was a wonderful meeting. Thank you so much to everybody who participated. And yeah, I think that's the end of the meeting. Thanks everyone for joining. If you are new or we don't have you regularly, please do drop your contact details and we'll be sure to keep in contact with you. Thank you, everybody.
And President, the results of the votes.
So we have, I just see the results now. So for best table topic speaker, we have Toastmaster Jokes. Well done, Toastmaster Jokes. So for best speaker, we have Toastmaster Lekon. Well done, Toastmaster Lekon. For best evaluator, Toastmaster Natasha. Well done to me. All right. Well done, everybody. And thank you so much for joining this call. We are 3 minutes over time. So, meeting adjourned.
Thank you. Idowu Ayo, can you please introduce yourself? Are you a Toastmaster or a guest?
Good evening, I'm a Toastmaster, Eagles Toastmasters. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for visiting us. Thank you, everyone. Toastmaster Abubakar. Callistus, welcome home. It's good to see you. Thank you, Chooks. Thank you, Toastmaster Josephine. Thank you, Toastmaster Lekon, Toastmaster Ronke. Toastmaster Ronke is our club coach, by the way. Thank you. Toastmaster Yetunde, I hope your baby will let you sleep well this night, so you have a refreshing sleep. Toastmaster Austin, should I say thank you to you? You are home. This is your
Happy New Year, AWN, and happy Valentine.
Happy Valentine. Happy every. Happy Easter in advance. AWN Toastmasters speech contest, international speech contest and evaluation contest is happening. So our next meeting will be our club contest. Next meeting will be our club contest. Please warm up. International speech contest and evaluation contest. Please sign up. You can reach out to me or the club president. Sign up. Right, everyone.
Okay, thank you. Have a good evening,
Right.
everyone.
Good evening, and I hope to see you all at the district training. The TLI is organizing a very sensational training for us this evening. So as we move from this place, please migrate to that meeting so that we would enjoy the training that they have for us this evening. And I think this evening is about how to conduct productive meetings. Hope to see you there. Bye, everyone. Take care.
Could you please share the link with me, please, via WhatsApp?
All right, sure, I will.
Let's people the meeting.
Just share the link with everybody, please. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I will do that. Toastmasters, you know why? Are you on the Toastmasters community group? If you go there, you'll find the link.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
All right. So let me see if I can. Let me try and copy this and share on the.
Bye, everyone.
I'm going to put this on the charts here. I hope that works for everyone. But if I have your number, I can send it to you. Right, that's the link. Toastmasters, do you have it now? Interesting. All right, so I see that. Okay.
Toastmaster Chidi, I sent you my number.
Yes, I've seen it. I'll send to you now.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good one. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Yeah, you too. All right. Okay.
Sorry, Chidi Madu DTM. So sorry for the.
All right, I'll share with you now.